Phase 2. Next on the county administrator reports is, of course, the Russell County Energy Performance Grant. This was implemented by the school board as.
Excuse me, it says the red line too.
Thank you, ma'am. The Russell County Energy Performance Agreement, this was implemented as a project that upgraded all the boilers, electricity, water utilization project. This is a credit back from Virginia Saves, which comes through the U.S. Treasury in amount of $127,046.25. And again, in the board packet for number 4, which is the Cumberland Plateau 2023 Annual Review. And that is a letter by the Cumberland Plateau Planning District that details how they have worked with the counties within the planning district, and they want to give, their thanks to Russell County Board of Supervisors and for their annual contributions to the organization. And in return for their annual contribution of only $35,000, $1.88 million and $23 was returning grant money awards for critical infrastructure projects and downtown revitalization efforts. In addition, in the comprehensive planning of the district, they also have included the housing needs assessments and hazardous mitigation plans. Also into the planning district, as residents around the county, you'll see crews going through, was the deployment of high-speed broadband, which is a $68.3 million project that is for universal broadband coverage in all of our counties. So again, we're moving forward, and these projects are very detrimental to our infrastructure and the growth of the county. Next on the county administrator reports is, of course, the bylaws. I know that the Board of Supervisors is still reviewing and drafting and making amendments and changes. So we are compiling these, and then those will be turned over to final review for the county attorney, and we'll be able to have those up to date. Next on the county administrator reports is the Cumberland Plateau Waste Management bylaws and changes in budget deficit. This is a meeting that was attended by Mr. Kaiser and Mr. Hensley, and concerning the changes that went on at the Waste Management Authority in the budget deficit. And if either one of them like to elaborate, please to do so.
At that meeting, have you got me? Can you hear me? At that meeting, the Cumberland Plateau, and has for years, they supply a meal, and essentially anybody in this room could show up to that meeting and get a free meal. Myself and Mr. Kaiser made the motion, and we did get that eliminated, not completely, but the board members will be fed a meal. There's some board members that come from Dixon, Buchanan County, and they felt like if they was traveling, that they should be supplied a meal because it was during separate time. So hopefully in the coming future we can eliminate that. I think you can pay $15 for a meal if you're going to be on board. We also tried to cut these meetings. These meetings are about 30-minute meetings, and they're monthly, and there's 6 board members paid $200 plus whatever taxes to sit on this board. It's about a 30-minute meeting, and we wanted to cut that back to every other month. We're currently going through the bylaws now, and hopefully get that taken care of, and that'll save the taxpayer a little bit of money. It's hard to get people that's done things for years to change, and it's a slow process, but wait on us. We're working on it, and hopefully you'll see some fruits of that if we can get through the processes and the legal going through the bylaws. But just keep watching, and we'll see what we can do about saving you more taxes moving forward.
One other thing Andrew didn't mention that we did get rid of was the workers' comp insurance. So the board members were receiving workers' comp insurance for their 30-minute supper meeting. I told him, I said, y'all fellas worried about choking on the chicken bone in here or something? So we said there's no reason for we need workers' comp insurance for a board meeting. We eliminated that as well. So as Andrew said, we're working on several things. Looking forward to cutting some more stuff out. If we can reduce our meetings to every other month, that'll help as well. Of course, if this is happening on one board, it's likely happening on a lot of different boards that we're looking at in the county. So that is one reason. If you're wondering why we're doing a restructure on these boards, it's because we need to cut this out because we are facing some significant shortfalls. Projected $300,000 shortfall just on the Regional Waste Authority. So that's pretty significant. I mean, it is split between 3 counties, but if you have that happen in multiple different buckets, you're looking at it adds up to millions and millions of dollars. So we got to make sure we're being good financial fiduciary guardians for the county.
Mr. Chair, may I say something, please? This is a 3-county, our sister counties. This is a waste management authority that was put together many years ago to save various sums of money for the cost of moving garbage around, and that's been the topic of the day. So I suggest to keep peace within the 3 counties that our 2 new board members just go ahead and relinquish your $200 stipend back to Russell County and let Diggeson and Buchanan decide what they want to do with their money and pack your lunch.
Thank you, Chair. Next on County Administrative reports is, of course, the Russell County School and Sheriff Public Auction. This is just a report that there will be a proposed public auction for county surplus materials in March. It looks like at the end of March, at the 1st of April. We are working with the school board to be able to do that, and one in October. Usually they have a 1-year sale. We're going to go to a 2 years, twice a year sale. So next on the county administrative reports is, of course, the Russell County road reporting system, and that seems to be working really well on this reporting. As y'all can see in your packet, I get multiple reports, directly to me, and they're also conveyed on to VDOT. So these maintenance activities, these reporting forms and comments are very helpful. We don't have to wait for reports. Sometimes these incidents are of immediate need, and we need to respond faster than what we know from the outside. So it gives VDOT an opportunity to move quick too. So,
Lonzo, if you don't mind, if you'll jot this down, I just got a text. We got a lot of people watching online, but Pastor Steve Dameron had asked me to turn in, and I had mentioned this to you before, so I'm going to go ahead and do it again. Cold Springs, upper end of Clarks Valley, is in serious need of guardrails, and I've explained to him about the guardrail funding issue and everything, but we put that on the list. I appreciate it.
yes, sir. Next is on the county administrative reports is, of course, Russell County has its road reporting system, and then VDOT reports back to us on a monthly basis. So as you can see on these maintenance activities and ones that we send in, you will see it coming back up on their maintenance and replacement and maintenance activities that are either planned or have been completed. So as we submit these applications to them within the time period of whatever they can do to repair or what schedule and activities they have planned, we should be, as we report them, they'll be showing completed. So we're going to start working in unison. We're starting to get the feel for this system. So keep an eye on your reporting activities within your area, and then look at the VDOT report to make sure that it is either being addressed, it's planned, or it's completed.
Mr. Lester, Mr. Chair, may I interrupt? Concerning this new report, the county generated a form that's on their site. So the county did this form as opposed to going through the Highway Safety Committee like it did before straight to VDOT, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so I don't know how we can fix this or how convoluted it is, but I'm noticing on some of the complaints that are being registered by citizens through this portal that the citizens are not understanding that some of the complaints they're sending is not state maintained roads, and therefore that needs to be explained that we have we don't work with private roads or county does not have a road. So there's been a couple of things I've seen turned in, and so that's just working you to pieces to filter through this. And I don't know how to fix that dilemma because the county citizens need to realize that what we don't own, we can't fix, and what they turn in on these forms, we can't fix. So do you respond back to those folks and say?
Currently, we are.
Okay.
We are. Now, sitting here as it comes up, and it hasn't got to be a high volume yet, but for future planning, of course, my IT staff is sitting right behind me. We can put a notice on there that this pertains to VDOT roads, maintained roads, that we do not have county roads per the ordinance, So we can put some of that terminology in there too. But right now, as customer service, we've been responding.
So you do respond and
Yeah.
say,
Yeah, it's a
yes,
county
thank
road.
you. That's
Yeah,
all I need to know. So these people are being informed, and they're not going to call all of us and
No.
say you're not fixing our road.
They should not. No,
Okay.
if they're patient and wait, yes, because
I
we have to
appreciate
see.
it.
Yes, ma'am. Next on the county administrator, this goes into the county administrator request, and the first thing on the agenda for a motion for is we are actually selling a surplus of two of the disposal trucks through JM Wood Auction. I needed approval for a motion to put these on the surplus. We have been guaranteed a minimum price of $327,000 on these auctions, so I need a motion for approval for surplus.
So moved.
I'll second.
Thank you, Chair. Next on the county administrator request is the Russell County Planning Commission organization membership reduction. This is on the agenda for the board's consideration for the current structure of the Russell County Planning Commission, as the board had discussed with other reorganizations of boards and committees. I have included the Code of Virginia and how the Planning Commission is structured. So that's up for the board's discretion and pleasure.
I'd like to make a motion that we reduce the planning commission to 5 members, with those 5 members being Greg Stoops, John Mason, Philip Addington, Tara Dye, and Ernie McFadden. And that's effective immediately. And I'd like for the board to consider sending a letter that, as per state law, unless business is needed where the chairman can call business, that those meetings move to every other month.
There's two motions.
Second.
There's two motions here. Yeah. Steve, there's two motions here.
Separate Andrew, you need to separate those meetings.
Separate the first board.
Separate the board reduction to 5 members with the 5 members I previously stated, and then the next motion will be suggesting to the planning commission to move the meetings to every other month.
Let's take a second on the first motion to reduce the members to 5.
I'll do that.
Tara made a second on that. Is there any discussion on this?
Yes, sir.
We'll hear right ahead.
Okay. By the way, full disclosure, I have no problem with a reduction, and speaking with state code does allow the floor to be 5 members only. However, those members that you rattled through quickly, Andrew, I didn't have those in my packet, so I don't know whose district they represent. And I do believe Philip Addington is District 2, so that's mine. I appreciate that. You're leaving, if you're reducing it to save money, then you're leaving a board member on there that, do we have to have a liaison from our board to this bylaw? Then I would remove Ms. Dye from that board, and I would place a citizen on there that represents someone in that district, because we still, by law, have 7 districts. And that's an at-large. So I would ask that Mr. Kaiser relinquish his, because we would have at least 6 districts represented at this time. And then as the next one comes due or falls off, I guess we'll have to go to war with whose district is represented in that planning district. I'm not making a motion, am I?
Well, we're in discussion of the first motion.
I thought we were discussing, but
We're discussing motion 1 to reduce the fine.
I get it. Thank you. No. Can't hear you. You're dead.
Lord, the substitute, the second motion that, or the proposed recommendation by Ms. Wallace is a substitute motion. Okay. Yeah.
Remove our county liaison, who is Ms. Dye, and then reduce it by Mr. Kaiser's member. Lose that member if you're going to get rid of them, and that would leave 6 members representing the districts 1 through 6.
So I have a question. Is it a requirement to have a member to represent each district? Okay. So the whole idea here is to reduce the cost to the taxpayer. This is all this is done through taxpayer dollars. So your money, we've had a board for the last 8 years that has not taken into consideration one time cutting literally almost anything.
Mr. Kaiser, we recognize that at the beginning. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I
you
said
are
that was a
interrupting
good
me. I'm not
idea.
done. Let me finish my
Okay.
point. Thank you.
Let's calm down.
So my point is, if there's no statutory requirement that we have a board member from every district, then wouldn't the proper thing to do would be to get the best people that you can, regardless of where they live? Because we got imaginary lines called districts. They're imaginary. When I cross from Green Valley Road over into Hansonville, I don't say, well, I just left Green Valley, so now I'm in District 1. No. I think those people, the same people on District 1 as they are in District 5, as they are in District 6, 2, 1, whatever. We want the best people for these boards. I don't care where they live. We want people that have the heart and the care for Russell County citizens and the concern to be fiscally conservative in their actions. So the idea that we have to have a person from every district to represent, I think is flawed logic, and it's irresponsible for the taxpayers' dollars that we're spending.
Okay.
I think District 3 deserves to make sure that they have one.
Where we're
They
at
do.
now.
Who is that?
They do.
Who is that?
Listen, everybody be quiet. Where we're at now, Ms. Wallace made a substitute motion. We need a second to that motion. Am I correct, Mr. Cooper?
Oh, I'll make that second.
Ms. Rebecca Dye made that motion. Okay, or second, that second. Now we can discuss that issue.
Okay, so those names that you went through, whose district do they represent? I know that I've recognized mine, Philip Addington, yes.
I looked at the members as being trained through the state to be planning commission members. I didn't feel like that the board should pay to have someone trained based on where they live. So of these members, they've all been trained to be on that board.
Yes, I
And
realize that.
that's how I looked at it. I didn't look at where they live.
Who's not trained?
The only person not trained is Tara Dye, and she was appointed by the board.
Yeah. And I am set up to do that training starting in July.
Who?
And the other people are trained on that. And we did have some that are not, and they will be coming with that motion. The training is a little expensive, so if you're going to cut the board, you know, why would you keep people on there that have not been trained, then go and pay for their training plus, you know,
I agree.
the extra people? I mean, it's a little.
I'm with you. So
Okay.
you haven't been trained yet. You could drop off on my motion, and Nate could lose his number 7 district, and would we have trained members at 6 at that point, Andrew?
Based on my knowledge, and I may be wrong, these were the trained members that was told to me, and there was 2 other members, and to tell you where they live at, I don't remember.
Okay, Mr. Lester.
First of all, the planning commission does not have a set of bylaws, so y'all know what that means. Let's start there. Okay, you have the authority to reduce it down to 5. That's the second. When we started this, we looked at the code, and we also talked to the planning commission chairman, and the 5 names that was given to Mr. Hensley was by the chairman of the planning commission. Correct. So those names came from him, right, Mr. Hensley. Those recommendations. Yeah, I'm sorry, vice chair, was given to him as recommendations. So it comes down, since first there is no bylaws, and county attorney sitting here, y'all have the discretion however you want to do this in the number that you want to do. That is totally up to the board's pleasure. So, but one thing that I will talk about on the planning commission, and Andrew has alluded to, and so is the planning commission, they are starting on the Wilson County's comprehensive plan. So whoever that y'all choose to, that's y'all's pleasure, is going to be have to be fully trained in planning district and setbacks and et cetera, and zoning, and to be able to make this, a valid comprehensive plan, because the comprehensive plan, as Ms. Breeden, we've looked at this thing over and over and over, and so as some of the other board members. A comprehensive plan flows down to the county plan, but it also helps us when we go to regionalism or regional projects or grants. You have to have these in your comp plan. It is very important. So with that in mind, what that was said, that's up to y'all's discretion.
Okay, the motion I have on the floor now is a substitute motion, Ms. Wallace. Is there any further discussion on that motion? If not, I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor of this motion, raise your right hand. Substitute motion. 2. All opposed to this substitute motion, raise your right hand. Motion fails. Okay, that leaves the original motion on the floor to reduce the board to 5 members. Is there any discussion on this issue? Any further discussion?
Yes, if you're talking about saving money, then you just voted down a motion that would save more, because Ms. Dye hasn't had her training, which is $1,600 to $1,900 to do that, plus the $200 that she could give up and Mr. Kaiser could give up for saving money. Just going to leave it there.
Any further discussion?
Didn't we establish that there's only 5 members that are currently trained? If we left 6 on, we'd still have to train 1. So we'd still be paying for 1 to get trained. So we're at the same place we would be with 6 as far as financial. Actually, better, because we would be paying a 6th member to go get trained and their monthly stipend.
So who is your District 3 representative now?
Paradise.
No. Who's your District 3 representative now?
Again, why is that relevant to the conversation?
Are you leaving one on?
I'm trying to recollect who the District 3 is. I think so. I think that's right.
Lester, you gonna use your microphone?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Sorry about that. I was talking. This is not working. Sorry about that. This will be repaired for the next meeting. Second thing is, I think Nate said it was Charlie. I think that is that board member that's in District 3.
Any
Edmund?
further discussion?
So that you're removing Charlie. Or is that, you rattled that list, Andrew? What was it?
Greg Stoots, John Mason, Philip Addington, Tara Dye, and Ernie McFadden. And that was, those names weren't just dropped out of the sky. That was suggested by the Planning Commission, I guess, Executive Committee.
Okay, so Charlie has, or Charlie Compton, Charlie who? Edmonds, I apologize. So Charlie Edmonds was on there, but he did not get his training.
Here's the list of the current members. So, yeah, it is Charlie. Cleveland, Charlie Evans. Yeah, you're right.
Now, I do remember Mr. Ray being mentioned as not being trained. I think that's correct. I don't believe I'm straightening you wrong, but he has not been trained. The others, I don't remember. I didn't realize any of this would come up. So,
Well,
I guess I didn't ask enough
Okay.
questions.
I realize we have I'm sorry, we have a vote here. I'll call for the vote. I'll quit discussing it. But it wasn't
Okay.
in my book to discuss anyway. So it would be nice if I knew more about these things before they come up. I'll be quiet.
Okay. If we're through with the discussion, I'm gonna call for the vote. All in favor of Mr. Inslee's motion to reduce the planning commission down to 5 members with the names that he specified, please raise your right hand. All opposed, same, raise your right hand.
I'm for reducing it, but since I failed on my first motion, then I vote on the second one. Okay, then I vote.
Okay. So 6-4, 1 against.
Steve, can I make a point real quick?
Yes.
We are still in the process of restructuring. So we still look at board members on this and reconsider anybody. These people do serve at the will and pleasure of the board. So that would be something that to consider. Ms. Wallace has someone in particular that she wants other than Mr. Addington, then possibly she can do that. So just want to make that point.
Well, I will make a second point then, to your point. No, I don't mind, but it would be nice as a board member to know what you had in mind or what you were doing so that we could have a common sense conversation as opposed to an argument on how we're moving forward. So, again, transparency, things done in the dark, right?
Yeah, I would ask in the future if we are planning something like this, try to get to Mr. Lester so that the rest of the board will be aware of it. Okay, now we have a second motion. Andrew, would you make that second motion?
That the board recommends to the planning commission that they move meetings to every other month unless called upon by their chairman in a as needed basis.
I have that motion. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Wallace. Any discussion on this motion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. There are none on that motion. Okay.
Thank you, Chairman. Next on the county administrator reports and request, of course, is a request by the board for a public hearing to address the food with the meal tax and the cigarette tax ordinances for review. I know that this is getting near the end of the budget year, and y'all be holding a lot of public meetings. I think there's like 5 that we'll have to have hold. So we could also put this in as for consideration, because it just can't. It has to be separate than the budget. So if we do a public notice, then it has to be part of consideration in the notice.
I don't think we can do anything until we have a budget put together.
That's what I said. When we
Part of
start
the
the budget process, we have to advertise legally by code. We have to do the county budget, but we also, if we have an ordinance in place, that requires its own notices too. So, yes.
Okay.
So I need a motion to start, when we start the public hearings for the budget, to include these two in this part along with the budget.
So you need a motion to start the public hearings for
Budget,
budget process.
and yes, and the
Of
bill and
this,
cigarette
which is
tax,
the-
and the bill and cigarette tax.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion by Taryn. I need a second. Second by Mr. Kaiser. Any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign. There are none.
Next on the county administrator request is travel request. This is the annual state public library meeting. It will be attended on March the 20th and through the 23rd by the director of the Russell County Library. I need a motion for approval.
Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. There are none.
Thank you, Chair. Next on the county administrator request is, of course, the Russell County Planning Commission plat that was at the request by the Planning Commission to be tabled. That concludes the county administrator reports and requests. And again, I apologize. I'm trying to get through this and look down the board member and see.
You got one more.
Oh, I'm sorry. There is one.
Little League.
Little League field. That definitely couldn't win in the office when we forgot that. I apologize. We got a request by the Abbott Lebanon Little League for the Glade Hollow Park maintenance. This is a request for $27,875 for the. We have ran into a safety issue of concern on the deck over there. It becomes a public safety, so it ain't.
I think
It's a project that cannot be waited on. If it's going to be utilized, someone gets hurt, the board and us are currently aware of it, and it's got to be repaired. So,
I think their major concern is they've got a state tournament they're hosting in July. They want to make sure that they don't have a hazardous situation.
yeah, if once we become aware of it, and they have a lot of volunteer to do this in house, and much as they can in house and with volunteers, and we're going to work with them with the community work program. So actually, this is a low cost based off of what they're going to have to do off of these decks and replacements and roofs. So I need it for a motion for board consideration.
To approve that, and then after we go through, I'll make that.
Have a motion and a second. Open discussion.
I don't know if this is working or not. Is
Yeah.
it? It is now. Okay. In our budget discussions this year, one of the things that I've been aware of on multiple projects is there's no really additional funding for maintenance and upkeep. What happens is things get dilapidated, and then you have to come back and spend more money to fix it. And I think that if they're, and I know money's going to be tight. I know it is. Being on the budget committee and seeing what I'm seeing at this point, I'm just praying really hard the good Lord will bless us and we'll be able to come through this thing like we've been able to do. But I would like to see some additional. I mean, we've got Little League, Honecker Little League, we've got Hunts River Little League, we've got Lebanon Little League. You have a lot of these Little League programs that are hindered directly for our children, and they're great assets. But what happens is if we don't have any maintenance type funding apparatus in place, that they can fix it immediately and not wait 2 or 3 years, and then all of a sudden it gets so dilapidated that you have to spend 10 times the amount to repair. And I've seen it because I was heavily involved in Homemaker League, which we had a lot of great people and great businesses that stepped up and donated a lot of funding and money that we were able to build new bathrooms, do a lot of stuff ourselves. But from the county's perspective, I think that the greatest investment you make is in your kids. And we need to have some sort of apparatus in there. And that's one of the things I was going to bring to our budget talks is having some sort of maintenance type funding in place, so we're only giving them $4,000 a year.
Yeah, that is correct.
I'm telling you, by the time you buy softballs and baseballs and stuff like that, that's gone in a day. And then the maintenance side of that is pretty much dependent on volunteers and help and things. And I will tell you, whether it be in church or it be in a little league setting, you have about 5 that'll show up and do the work, and then the rest will not participate. So I just want to make everybody aware of that, and the board aware of that. That's something I'm going to be pretty passionate about, working on this budget and looking to see what we can do in our little league program.
I had a couple of questions.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
So, did we take multiple bids for this?
Not yet. We wanted a cost estimate first for consideration
Okay.
to know whether to proceed, what we could do. And it is a very good question.
Have they done any fundraising towards this?
They have not yet. This came immediate upon our inspection. It kind of happened over the winter with, they volunteered and fixed the front decks last year. They knew that the back decks was becoming more deteriorated, but it accelerated over these hard, cold winters. So, and one of the things I want the board supervisors to know that, you know, whether it's Lebanon or it's Honecker or it's Castlewood right now, these guys are doing a great job. Y'all need to look at these fields, you know, just go out there and look. They're doing a lot of volunteer work, but there's safety issues that come up because we're, as the board, y'all take care of facilities. We do, our staff does, and as David had mentioned, it's hard to get the volunteers in. And this is a hybrid of contractual volunteer community workers. So it's a free partnership that's being proposed.
I think they'd agreed maybe that price would come down a little bit if we could provide the community workers to do some of the work, maybe to tear it down or something.
Yeah. Have they known about this tournament for a long time, or is this just something that got sprung on them? And the reason I'm asking is I'm just, it kind of feels a little under the gun. Here we are, 1st of March, and we need it by July. And I think it's a wonderful thing. I'm just wondering, when things like this come up, if maybe they could let us know sooner, so it would be a little bit easier to do within the budget.
Yeah.
And I don't know the answer to that. That's why I just want to put that out there.
Usually we do know about it, but the problem is it's the money, and because in the board's philosophy, the previous is if one got it all got it all. But sometimes it becomes a safety issue, and then by law we have to move on just because of that effect. This one was a little different because actually they're still negotiating the state schedule. Am I correct? I think, or they got a definite date yet.
They're scheduled for, I think, the first part of June.
Okay, because Brad, when he talked to me and Steve, we walked and looked at the deterioration on it. They were still, I think, in finalizing the last terms and conditions on it or something like that.
Yeah, I think he said they were going to start in June sometime. But I think this state tournament, which is a pretty big deal to the overall county and communities, sometime in July they're going to have. I can't remember how many teams, but it is a state tournament. I think part of it, I think a portion of this deck was probably taped off last year.
It was
bad.
It was.
And part of it's over a dugout, water leaks into the dugout. They're proposing to fix all that. And there was another deck, kind of a lower level deck, that had, for some reason, it buckled up. So it is a safety issue now.
Right.
That's all they've asked for.
And to ensure that we do this correctly, the process is within my office. If y'all give us the approval to move forward with this cost estimate, keyword estimate, is we work with Lebanon Block, my staff, community workers. They turn everything through us. Everything funnels through us. If it goes to contractor bid, it goes through my office. So, yeah, we're just trying to get forward whether they want to participate in this or continue with this cost estimate of $27,375. Again, it's an estimate, so it is a public issue. And next tournament, you could be a Castlewood, or next one, you could be a Homeacre. So,
Well, I will tell you that Homeacre's having, what happens is it goes through the district advisory committee. You have to submit an application to do this. And years ago, I know that when I was involved in Little League heavily, we wanted to bring a lot of people down here in the Southwest Virginia because we were always traveling to Luray and to Virginia Beach and all those areas to have to participate. We didn't feel like it was fair that we wasn't getting our share, so we started politicking pretty heavy to make sure that when we vied for these state tournaments that we would be under consideration. Well, after they gave us one or two, then now we've been more aggressive to ask for more. So if it happens at Clinch River, if it happens at Lebanon or Honeacre or wherever, it brings a lot of people, brings a lot of teams. They have to stay in your motels, they have to eat your food. The return on investment and making sure that your facilities look the best they possibly can, because I will tell you, we get huge compliments from Luray, Virginia Beach, Lynchburg, all these area teams, and their moms, dads, grandparents come down here and they say, hey, these fields are wonderful. They're great, the atmosphere's good, and everything like that, which they like to have a few more amenities that we're working on trying to provide, but that's another influx of money coming into our region. Because I know we held 2 or 3 state tournaments in Honeacre, and I mean, they were all over the area eating and staying in the motels and stuff during the tournament. So I just wanted to let the public know it's actually a good funding apparatus on the economic side for our area of Southwest Virginia.
Yeah, I think they were talking about hotels and motels all over. They didn't know if they could have enough room. It'll probably reach into Abingdon and over into Wise County and back up into Tazewell.
well, as you can see on the cost estimate, they're doing a 30 by 12 deck. They're doing a 60 by 16 deck. They're also putting up a major chain link fence in the phase 1. To do that you could it costs contractor in labor if you had to do it on your own. I mean, this is the only way they can work it in is like a 3-phase approach. So you could go buy the materials for $30,000.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Lester, I don't have anything in my packet that says anything about, does anybody have this? How much it costs? Oh, you do?
Yes, it's the one.
It came in kind of late.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my fault then that I didn't catch that apparently. So what I want to know is, as the town of Lebanon, do they support this Little League?
The town of Lebanon has its own field that it takes care of. This
Okay,
is
so this is independent of the town of Lebanon.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. And so this is run by the Lebanon Little League?
yes.
Oh, it's called the Lebanon Little
Yeah,
League.
it's called. It's not actually officially the town league. It is a county. If I'm right, Lonzo, it's a county-owned facility.
Yeah, it
Correct?
is a county-owned facility.
So it is under our preview to maintain and ensure it's safe structures. And I'll tell you, it's not. It's really not. The decks are in really bad shape, and yeah, you could knock the one down and take the other one up and just put some roofing over it and be cheaper. But if we're wanting to maintain a nice facility here and present a nice appearance to the public, I think we we need to consider this. And to David's point, the financial benefit, I don't know what I'm sure our tourism people can tell us, but what our financial benefit to hosting a tournament like this, just in the tax revenue that we get from the restaurants and the hotels and the gas stations and all this other assorted benefit it's almost gonna pay for itself.
Any further discussion on this matter?
That sounds like I got to Nate somehow. Okay.
You're ready.
Are all three fields in Castlewood, Lebanon, and Honaker, is that all owned by the county?
That is correct. All three fields are owned by the county.
Yeah.
Now, in Honaker last year, we did a major roof replacement. We put a brand new roof down there, and they've done an outstanding job on the Little League. Has done the field works, and we still got a little bit of
the
things
fencing.
to do and fencing to
fencing.
do.
With
We
that
kind of
also-
trying to share and do what we can, but as far as the major safety issues or code issues, because when my building inspector goes out there and says, you cannot stand on this deck, you rope it off, it becomes that type of issue. But
Right.
we kind of share across the fields every
Lonzo,
year. Yes,
I
ma'am.
have a point. The Honaker field last year, the insurance was supposed to have covered their fence farm because a storm blew trees over on it. So has the insurance gone through to replace all that section of fence that Honaker Little League needs
The insurance was gave
for the roof?
Yeah, we did the roof, and we've already replaced it. And we've got the fence on the schedule, which Mr. Eaton knows. That with the other projects, they went ahead and started using the field, so we said we'd come back and do the fence. So we're starting on that little component now. So on the fence repair.
One thing I want to say real quick, Steve, sorry, is youth athletics is very important, and just because this is Little League doesn't make any of the other ones less important. If we're providing county facilities, we need to maintain county facilities. We need to make it a safe environment for the kids to be in and the parents to be in. And it is tough. It is tough to say, here's $27,000 to Little League, and then somebody else comes and says, well, where's my $27,000? It is a tough thing to go through, but there is a need here, and it's something that is going to be spread out across, the years to come as far as a total cost of ownership, basically, ROI. So it's definitely something that I think we need to tackle now to bite the bullet, get it over with. The problem moving forward, as I've said before, is we're going to have issues with budgets, trying to keep costs down, trying to keep taxes low, because everything, as everybody knows, is going up. And so, bear with us. We're trying to cut where we can cut because we know what's coming. We know what's coming. So, we do still have to maintain the properties that we do have, though.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
if I may, one more thing. Previously, when we worked with Clinch River Little League, we have borrowed forward on our stipend to help them out. We just had a major paving job done down there, and so the Little League borrowed forward on their stipend. So in other words, you're only going to get 4 this year, but you can borrow forward. I would put that out there and offer that to the Lebanon / Russell County Little League and borrow forward. Also, the town of St. Paul does donate a stipend to help the Clinch River Little League. So a lot of those fields are not in their town proper, but they do support the children there. So I would ask that the Lebanon Town Council offers some financial assistance to that also.
it's all well and good. We can ask. We can't demand.
I understand. I get it. I understand. Ask.
Okay.
And
Any further discussion?
and Lebanon is using what they have left, because you got to remember we're at the end of the year, fiscal year budgets. We got about 120 days left, give or take. 34,000 they've expended up to this point, but they are, whatever they have left in their coffers, they are participating in that. But yeah, Castlewood had Ford, and I'll mention that too.
Okay, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of approving this request, signify by saying aye. Anyone opposed, like sign. There are none.
Thank you, Chairman. That concludes county administrative reports and press.
Okay, that brings us down to the point where we're ready to have discussion with board members. We can start with Mr. Kaiser.
Miss Wallace, to your question about Lebanon Town, I did get an answer real quick. Quick turnaround time there. But Lebanon Town donates $2,500 to Lebanon Little League every year. So that's, I agree. Because a lot of, that's the thing about Lebanon Little League. A lot of, I don't live in town. My kids play in Lebanon Little League, and many others outside town limits do. But there's a lot of kids that live in town that do play in that league, and it is mainly those kids that use those fields. So, I would like to encourage the town to try to tighten the belt a little bit and find a little extra money for Lebanon Little League to help them out as well. So, other than that, we're just going to continue to try to tighten the belt as far as the county goes. Of course, as you know, we're getting ready to start budget meetings. That's going to be a really big deal. We're going to try to cut your taxes. We'll do our best. But like I said, things are going up, and that affects everything. It's affecting us, like I said before, on the Regional Waste Authority. We're facing a shortfall, and I'm sure that's not just a one-off. I'm probably in other areas we're going to be facing that as well. So do bear with us. We can use your prayers and your support, because it's not a fun job, but somebody's got to do it. So appreciate your support. Thank you.
Ms. Dye, do you have anything? Rebecca? Okay. David? Tara?
The only thing I want to mention is, last time I spoke to you all about foster homes, thankfully we have gotten quite a few more applications for foster homes, but we need more. So please keep that in your mind. Pray about it. If you're interested, please call the SL. Also, Isaiah 117 House, we're having a kickoff April 7th right here in this room, 3 o'clock. Please come. Please support this. This is going to be a wonderful thing, not just for Russell County, but for surrounding counties as well. Thank you.
Lou?
I'm not sure, Amy, but I will find that out for you. I know that we do have a fellow that we hired that is specifically like for that. He's been we've grown it from 4 foster families to by the end of March. So if I will message you about that.
Lou, do you have anything?
Yes, thank you. One thing I want to say is I appreciate you, Mr. Chair, and this board for indulging me today. I know I have rattled a little bit more than I should, but thank you so much for that. I also want to say to the public that I appreciate their coming. I appreciate their passion. I want to recognize that in all people. So just to say that, I want to remind Mr. Lester, and if he would, to take those public comments and put them in a folder somewhere that you might look at them, and the public could look at them and see the comments. I realize some of them are very emotional, some of them are very passionate, some of them have some scientific nuggets in it that I think that we all need to be able to read. So I'm asking for that. And again, I thank the board for allowing me to speak today and indulge myself a little bit. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Andrew, do you have anything?
I appreciate everybody coming out, and we're going to have the meeting be next Friday, right? So next Friday, y'all got interest in the landfill, please come out. Please see what's going to happen with this environmental study. The attorneys will be here. Me as a new board member, I've been here 2 months today, so I'm learning as quick as I can, reading all I can, trying to keep up with all I can. And the landfill's the issue of the day, but I've only been here 2 months, so bear with me. I'm going to learn with you next Friday, and then we will discuss things from there and move forward and move Russell County forward, and hopefully come to a decision that'll work for all the county residents. And I appreciate you being here. Just want you to come out next week and keep us in your prayers. It's not fun even going to the grocery store sometimes with this landfill stuff going on, but we're doing the best we can.
No, no. My turn. My turn. Okay. As Andrew said, next Friday, 7 o'clock, we will be here. And we'll have seats out ready to go. Hopefully we'll have a better sound system set up so we won't have to toggle mics around. But we want to do this presentation. We're going to do a presentation on the environmental, legal, financial impacts of this landfill. And that'll take in their environmental consultant, their special counsel, and Mr. Lester. And this is a presentation to the board. They're seeing all the fine details of all this right now. And so the board will be able to ask questions. And after that, we'll open it up to the public to ask questions. I want to make sure that this is done, with a lot of decorum. I'm not going to put up a lot of yelling back in the crowd. If somebody wants to ask a question, they'll have to come to the podium to ask a question. It's not that you can come up and ask a half dozen questions. You're probably limited to a couple of questions each, so be prepared to spread those. If you've got questions you want, spread them out amongst your group. Will not tolerate any personal attacks on anybody, any board members, any of the staff, anything like that nature. I know it's a terribly emotional issue. I feel for you. But I want to guarantee you there's nobody on this board that would do anything they felt in their heart that was anything to damage Russell County or cause Russell County any kind of long-term issue. There's not a person on this board that would vote for that. But people's opinions are just like noses on your face. Everybody's got one, and they're all different. So, some people have a higher level of understanding of things, and some people don't. So I'm just leave it at that. I guess one bit of good news is that our special counsel has decided to go ahead and release the Batista report. So Monday, Lonzo, can you have copies ready available Monday for the Batista report? Okay.
Yeah, no later than Tuesday, sir.
Pardon?
No later than Tuesday.
No later than Tuesday. I guess you can just come by Lonzo's office or have him send you. Or can you email those out, Lonzo? Pardon me?
That would be the easiest way.
Okay, yeah, we'll post it on the website. That'd be a great thing to do. It's not a tremendously long document.
It'll be in the agenda amendment section. It'll say Batista feasibility.
He felt that we'd gotten along far enough on the negotiation of the host agreement that it wouldn't impact anything, in there. So we can make that available. Something funny, Jennifer? Okay. There was a reason. His report was to review the information provided by the developers, not to generate a report, to make sure that it was accurate. He felt like the information was good information and accurate, and there was nothing in there that would cause us any kind of issues, anything that would kill the project. They did a substantial report. I mean, that is not our report. We don't have that. That is property of Nova. You're going to see the Batista report. Yeah. Who reviewed is a professional who reviewed those documents. So that'll be available online no later than Tuesday.
Tuesday, yes, sir.
Listen, this It's not a period for discussion, okay? We're gonna make it available, is what you wanted. The special counsel find and release it, so it'll be available on, whenever Alonzo has it on the website. Go ahead, Alonzo.
I'm sorry. I'm sitting here, we're discussing that. What is the question again? I apologize.
No, you're gonna have it available Monday or Tuesday? on
No
the
later
website?
than Tuesday, I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay.
It'll be online Tuesday.
Online,
And
check,
it'll be
check the
labeled
website.
Batista. Yes.
Okay. Now I need a motion to adjourn. Motion?
Oh, wait a minute.
Are we gonna reconvene, or do we need to? You've advertised for that. So we really don't need to reconvene because you're advertising. Yeah, it's a special meeting. We could, but I don't anticipate that. I think we need to allow a couple of weeks. People to look at it, digest it. And then we'll probably, I would anticipate reconvening a couple of weeks later to address the motion. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we have one other thing before we adjourn. That the first Saturday in April, Andrew is not going to be available. So we need to reschedule that meeting for a different time.
There's additional reason as well. That's opening day for Lebanon Little League,
Okay.
and they'll be having a parade through town with all the
Okay.
kids.
Right.
And
Could we move that to the 8th, which would be a Monday night? And Lonzo, if you've got any state people that have any business with us, could you tell them?
Yes, yes, sir. Yay.
Is everybody agreeable to that? So we'll move our Board of Supervisors meeting from April from Saturday the 6th at 9 o'clock to Monday the 8th at 6 o'clock. Is that everybody agreeable to that? Let's do that. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Anytime there's a vote, you'll be able. We can't vote in secret. We don't vote in secret. It'll be an open.
Yeah. One more thing I want to elaborate on. The Batista feasibility report will be released, and we're at that point as far as the legal, the environmental. There's one component that we're still in negotiations with, and that's the financial. That host agreement will not be released until all components are complete, because it is a contract. Okay. No, you can't sign it until you vote on it. That's just the way it works. What you will be released when it is fully negotiated and the board is ready to release. Yes, when the next meeting that will be done is you seen the March the 8th, the 2024, because I don't know if there's question tomorrow or next day. The March the 8th meeting is to be informational only, and you see it advertised that by code. Okay, that means we are not providing the host agreement at that point. We are going to release the Batista agreement no later than Tuesday. That host agreement will stay with the board and special counsel until it is agreed upon. And then when we advertise for the next meeting, that host agreement will be released to the public review.
Right. We may not reconvene. We might just probably 2 or 3. We'd have to do it 3 weeks later. Wouldn't we?
Yeah, by code, you got to do
2
two
weeks of
consecutive
advertising.
weeks by code.
Yeah, 2 weeks of advertising.
Yes, yeah. That is correct.
so Alonzo, am I correct in assuming that there'll be another public hearing specifically for the host agreement?
That is correct, sir.
That's the one.
It'll be
I said
public.
we might
It'll be a
reconvene.
public meeting. This
Right.
is designated.
We'll just have a separate meeting
That
for
is
that.
correct.
We have to have a public hearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to do it in public meeting, not public. That, as far as the committee list, that is still, we're still going through those term conditions part A, but so still be negotiated.
We'll check into it. Have a motion on the board to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion to second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Uh,
We are now adjourned.